I'm Siraseo, and welcome back to HoopsHype. Today we're diving into some of the biggest all-star snubs in NBA history. Players who had the numbers but somehow didn't make the cut. The NBA has a rich history of all-star selections. Maybe not games, but many deserving players have been overlooked. Using our global rating metric, we analyze past seasons to identify players who should have made the all-star team but didn't. All-star selections happen mid-season. Our global ratings reflect end-of-season rankings. This method still highlights some of the biggest snubs. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a Hall of Fame big man and the NBA's former all-time leading scorer, made the All-Star team every year of his career, except for one. That lone omission came in 1977 to 78, despite him still being the league's best player. 2 minutes into the season, Abdul-Jabbar broke his hand punching #1 pick Kent Benson. The NBA fined him a record at the time, $5,000, but did not suspend him. However, the injury sidelined him for 20 games. By early December, he returned and put up 27 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game in 29 games before the All-Star break. Numbers that clearly warranted a selection. Voters didn't think that was enough. Despite him finishing 4th in MVP voting and earning all NBA second team honors that season, he still didn't get an All-Star nod. It remains one of the most baffling All-Star snubs of all time. Gus Williams. Seattle Supersonics star Gus Williams has no clear reason for missing the 1980 All-Star game except for a possible lack of fan and coach popularity. People forget Seattle wasn't really a popular team. Williams played for a crucial role for a defending NBA champion. By the time the All-Star break had rolled around, he was already averaging 22 and 5, and he ended the season by making all NBA second team. That proved his value. The Western Conference did have a stacked guard lineup at the time. World B. Free was averaging 30 plus points. Magic Johnson, Otis Birdsong, and Walter Davis were all there, but still, Williams had the same stats as Birdsong and Davis. His omission makes that even more questionable. He had a contract year the following year, and he bounced back and had an All-Star in 82 and 83, so all was good with him in the end. Artis Gilmore, 1977. Artis Gilmore transitioned from the ABA to the NBA in 1976 to 77, but despite making 5 straight ABA All-Star teams, he didn't get an NBA nod. He didn't get an NBA nod in his first season. That year, Gilmore led the Chicago Bulls in scoring, rebounding, and blocks, finishing 10th in MVP voting, yet still missed the All-Star team. The Eastern Conference had a dominant big man like Bob McAdoo, Alvin Hayes, but Gilmore's 18 points per game, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks per night still should have given him a spot. Ultimately, he went on to have 6 All-Star appearances and remains one of the worst rookie snubs of all time. Clyde Lavalette. Clyde Lavalette, 1958. Clyde Lavalette had already made 4 All-Star teams when he was snubbed in the 57-58 season. Yeah, we're going that back. My dad was only 3 years old that season. And Lavalette averaged 23.5 points and 12 rebounds, yet failed to make the West's limited 10-man All-Star roster. The competition was tough, as the conference featured Bob Pettit, Maurice Stokes, and Larry Faust, but his numbers should have earned him a spot. His Cincinnati Royals had a 33-39 record, which might have worked against him. Still, statistically, he should have been an All-Star. It was 1958 for crying out loud. There weren't that many teams. Charles Barkley, 1986. Despite making 11 All-Star teams, Charles Barkley should have had 12. Chuck, in 85-86, his second season in the NBA, averaged just over 18 points and just under 11 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2 steals, and 1.5 blocks just before the break. His Sixers team sat at 32-17, yet he didn't make the team. Barkley still earned all NBA second team honors and dominated the 86 playoffs on a 25-16-6. He dominated the 1986 playoffs with a 25-16-6 stat line. He likely lost that spot to Larry Bird or Kevin McHale because everyone loved Boston at the time, but he was clearly more deserving than Buck Williams, who made the team. 1972, Nate Thurmond. A 5-time All-Star by the time 1972 had rolled around, Nate Thurmond deserved a 6th nod. At the break, he was averaging just under 18 points and 15 rebounds a game. Later earned all defense second team. The West did have a stacked big man rotation that was headlined by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Will Chamberlain, Bob Lanier, Alvin Hayes, and Spencer Haywood. Despite that, Thurmond still had a strong case. He eventually finished with 7 All-Star appearances, but that 1972 was a glaring omission. Wes Unseld, 1970. After winning MVP and Rookie of the Year in 1969, Wes Unseld shockingly missed the 1970 All-Star team. He averaged just under 17 points and 16 rebounds while leading the Baltimore Bullets to a 30-19 record before the break. Again, Competition hurt his chances as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Willis Reed had locked up those center spots. Still, Wes Unseld should have been like a power forward or something. He was an all-star in the next 4 of his 5 seasons. He was still an all-star in 4 of his first 5 seasons, so all was well as Hayes became a Hall of Famer. Kevin Johnson in 1989, and then again in 1997, he had 2 huge snubs. In 1989, Johnson averaged 18.5 points, just under 12 assists, and 2 steals by the break. His Phoenix Suns had a 29-17 record, but the coaches went with Magic Johnson and John Stockton instead. In 97, put up 17 points, 9 assists, and 1.5 steals while shooting 42.2% from 3, yet still did not make the team. He responded by averaging over 23 points and almost 10 assists a game after the break, proving he definitely belonged. In 1988, John Stockton, yes, even short Stockton got snubbed. In the 87-88 season, he was averaging 13 points, 11.5 assists, and almost 3 steals a game while shooting 54.5% from the field. He went on to lead the NBA in assists, almost 14 assists per game and 3 steals that season, earning all NBA second team honors. Somehow, he wasn't selected for the All-Star team. Deron Williams, 2008. Let's go back to the 07-08 season. CP3 versus Deron Williams was a legit debate who was the best point guard in the league. Yet Williams didn't make the All-Star team despite averaging 19 points and almost 10 assists while shooting over 50% from the field. The fan vote gave Allen Iverson, who, I'm sorry, was not good at this point, the starting point guard spot, leaving coaches to choose Chris Paul, Steve Nash, and Brandon Roy over Deron Williams. And I know Williams proved his worth by earning all NBA second team honors and playing for Team USA's Redeem Team in the Olympics. All-Star voting has always had flaws, and these players suffered because of it. Whether due to injuries, competition, or popularity, these stars deserved a spot but didn't get one. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think was the biggest All-Star snub of all time? If you enjoyed this, hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like, comment, and share. Even though I told you to do it twice now.